Do you remember getting excited, hearing your favorite franchise was coming to a fast food place? Sonic has had many fast food promotions over the years, some when Sonic was still relatively new, and some dating to pretty recently. Some are very well talked about, such as the McDonald's Sonic 3 promotion, but there are a lot of promotions that aren't. I decided to do some research and was surprised by a lot of toy lines I had no idea about. Let's take a look at some various fast food promotions over the years. Sonic 3's McDonald's promotion is actually quite interesting because it had a pretty big impact on the game itself. This is because when the projected release date of the toys got closer, they realized they were only halfway done with development. So they released the levels they already had done as Sonic 3, where they finished the rest of the game, Sonic and Knuckles, which came out later that year. A Sega Magazine interview states, the thing was, we had planned a big promotional tie-in campaign with McDonald's the following year in February, and we had spent 2 billion yen, which is $20 million on it. So we absolutely had to meet that release deadline for Sonic 3 in February. Unfortunately, having to restart everything in June, we only had time to create about half the stages we envisioned. Then, at the very end of the Sonic 3 development, we were talking about needing to do something, and someone asked if it would technically be possible to combine 2 cartridges. We figured out the way to do that at the very last minute before the deadline, and then we revised all the programming in Sonic 3 to account for a future lock-on cart. Sonic 3 was McDonald's first Sonic promotion and included 4 toys. That is, if you don't count this rubber ball. This rubber ball was given as a Sonic toy for those who specifically requested it, as an under 3 toy to prevent kids from choking. Since you specifically had to request it, it's the rarest toy in the set. Though, to be honest, I don't care about how rare it is, it's just a rubber ball, so let's move on. The next 4 toys, though, are much more interesting. You've got this Sonic launcher, Wind-Up Robotnik, which funny enough, I actually have 3 of these, as well as this Tails one, and you pull the string to spin a helicopter. There is also this Knuckles one in the cloud for some reason. Kinda reminds me of this Luigi toy I have, where if you roll it off the table, Knuckles spins for some reason. During the last week of the promotion, Tails was recalled due to a problem with the pull string. In the USA, the promotion ran from February 4th to March 3rd, 1994. In the UK, it ran from January 27th to February 24th, 1995. In Japan, it ran June 1995. When it came to the UK, it's no longer branded as a Sonic 3 promotion, just as regular Sonic toys, as well as receiving a brand new, redesigned Tails toy that instead of using a pull string just spun its tails. The UK also got zone-themed Happy Meal boxes, while the US got mazes and puzzles. The US box references flying batteries on multiple times, funny enough. In Japan, they cut off the Tails toy altogether and updated the appearance of Eggman on the Robotnik toy, which are highly sought after among collectors. The Sonic toy also received a very slight redesign, mostly noticeable around his eyes. The promotion was successful enough that in 1994, with the Happy Meal anniversary train, one of the cards represents Sonic. This one looks pretty neat. It's in the shape of a TV and even has a Sega Genesis on top of it. Sonic 3 McDonald's promotion is fairly well known by this point, but McDonald's features numerous other sets. So let's take a look at their next one. In 2003, Sonic toys would make a return back to McDonald's as a celebration of the quote-unquote Year of Sonic. A large number of things were releasing in 2003, like Sonic Hero, Sonic X, Sonic Adventure DX, Sonic Battle, and Sonic Pinball Party. So Sega decided dubbing it the Year of Sonic. So, of course, they decided it was a good time for another McDonald's promotion. These toys were LCD games, which I'm honestly a really big fan of. I mean, Sonic is a video game series, makes sense to offer, video games. What's that? They're low quality, Well, if you wanted a toy instead, when's the last time you saw a high-quality fast food toy? So first, we got this Sonic Racing one called Sonic Speedway, which kind of reminds me of Sonic Drift, not gonna lie. This one actually got its own mobile flash game released to advertise it. Next, we got this Knuckles Soccer one, or football for all of you weird British people in your metric system. We also got this Sonic Action Game LCD game. Yes, that is what it's called, weirdly enough. Bit weird that they made 2 games for Sonic, but then again, he's Sonic, so I can see why. It's not like the game series is called Chaos the Fox or anything like that. This one really honestly feels like it rocks and feels most fitting. It's a 2D platformer, which is one of the last things I expected to be attempted in an LCD game. I mean, granted, it's still not great, but hey, it's an LCD game. What did you expect? I mean, Sonic is a 2D platformer, so this only makes sense to me. Whoever does the names on this must have given up on this one, because unlike all the other ones with a standard name, this one is called Sonic Action Game. That sounds like the name of a thrift store Sonic bootleg. Not the name I would expect for an official Sonic game, even if it is just a silly little promotional game, and does not fit with the rest of the names for them. You collect rings and jump over tiles. Although, now that I see and look at it more closely while writing the script, I see a major design flaw with this. You can just spam the jump button and not need to worry about anything. Whoops. I hope someone got fired for that one. Next, the Shadow Grinder. When I first heard that name, I was like, that sounds so cool. But we finally get a Shadow game where he grinds the blood and bones of people. But no, turns out it's just a real grinding game. Just jump across the rails and the holes that are there for whatever reason. Kill Sky Patrol, not really much more to say at this point. You play as Tails and collect the rings. The final, and in my opinion, most interesting one, is the only non-Sonic game in the set. It's the Super Monkey Ball LCD game. I find this super interesting since Monkey Ball was only released 2 years prior in 2001, and for the obvious reason that it's not Sonic, of course, since in a set of Sonic toys, you'd expect, well, Sonic toys. Guess Sega really wanted to push him as a new brand. And besides, Monkey Ball was one of their more kid-friendly brands, and looks pretty marketable, so I don't really blame them. But, I don't know, this still seems very odd to me, especially to be looped in with all the other toys. The set did have some other non-Sonic toys for all the other Sega characters, then yes, this would make sense, but Monkey Ball is the only non-Sonic game represented here. Anyways, now back to the actual game itself. You move left and right to catch bananas. Once you reach 30, you advance to the next level. Every level, the speed increases. If you fail to catch 10 bananas, the game ends. Also, I just now noticed, but the paper says that once you complete all the levels, you win the game apparently. I thought there would be an infinite amount of levels, but apparently there's a fixed amount. I can't find any photos or videos online of anyone that would be crazy enough to beat it though. Alright, so, I know I only covered 2 Sonic sets so far, and I was originally planning on having this video be a complete retrospective of every Sonic fast food lineup at this point. I even did write a finished script covering them all. However, being this is my first scripted video, I realized something absolutely dreadful. I'm terrible at optimizing Final Cut Pro project size. So, instead, I'll be covering the rest in future parts, so if you want to catch whenever I finish Sonic Fast Food Promotions 2, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I've never really done scripted content before, but I'm planning to do more in the future, obviously intending to focus on some various Sonic topics. However, there's probably ways I could improve my content in the future, so if you have anything I can improve, let me know. I'm still very new to all of this. I'd also like to thank the Sonic Wiki, Sonic Stadium, and Sonic Gear for all being great resources for this video. Anyways, I hope I'm able to produce some great content for you all in the future. Later.
I think we got a hit record.